Strutmasters offers low-life air suspension product line for most Sportsters, available in basic, standard, and ultimate packages. This video covers installation of the Sportster Ultimate Suspension Kit, which includes our exclusive air shocks with 3 inches more travel than standard air shock, plus an onboard compressor, pressure gauge, air lines, fittings, and all the mounting hardware. Now let's get started. The first step is to safely secure the bike and raise it. The rear wheel must be off the ground to take the weight off the rear shocks. Now remove the existing shocks from the bike and prepare to install your new low-life air shocks. It's important to note that only one shock should be removed at a time. Low-life air shocks are side-specific on Sportsters. The thick side of the spacer and the air fittings should face inward. When you line up the bottom, the bolt should go right back in with just a little help from a rubber mallet. We recommend tightening the top and bottom shock bolts at 45 foot-pounds. Now it's time to repeat this process for the other side of the bike. The next steps are to remove the seat and the battery. This will allow access to run your airline straight down and along the underside of your frame toward the front of the bike. Now you're ready to begin installing the air compressor at the front of the frame. Take the nut and lock washer off the mounting bracket and bolt the bracket onto the front of the frame. You'll run the compressor wires through the bracket push the compressor through the bracket and tighten it enough to secure it in place. The next step will be to hook up the air line to the compressor and finish tightening the bolts. Push the air line straight in and it should fit securely into the fitting. Now you'll need to connect the black ground wire to the frame. On this bike, we simply pulled the black wire through and grounded it just above the compressor. Find the blue wire in your kit and you'll run it down along the bottom of the frame toward the front. Use zip ties to hold it in place. Now connect the front of the blue wire to the red wire. When you're finished, you'll pull it up and out of the way, secured by a zip tie to the frame. We're ready now to install the air pressure gauge to the motor mount on the rear cylinder. You'll simply reuse the same bolt to secure the gauge. Our next step is to install the electrical line from the gauge, running it along the frame and the existing wiring harness. Be sure to tuck the new wires into the existing harness so the new wires won't droop onto a hot engine. When you're finished, secure them with zip ties. Now it's time to attach the ground wire from the gauge to the motorcycle frame. Our next step is to connect the fuse holder to the positive battery lead, and when you're finished, reinstall the battery. The fuse holder should remain accessible whenever the seat is removed. Get a 15 amp fuse and let's install it to test the solenoid and compressor. If a fuse blows immediately, you'll know something is not hooked up correctly. Push down on the switch and listen for the solenoid to click. Push up on the switch to hear the compressor run. You'll want to try both of these several times. You flip up on the switch to raise the bike and down on the switch to lower the bike. After making sure everything is working well, it's time to reinstall the seat. When finished, you'll safely remove any blocks under the frame and lower the motorcycle to the ground. Now you can really see the difference. A low-life motorcycle suspension kit will allow you to lower the motorcycle to the ground more than ever. With a much higher PSI than standard air shocks, your low-life kit will give you tremendous adjustability to the ride height and overall ride comfort. And remember, my friends, lay low and stay grounded. Thank you for choosing a low-life motorcycle suspension kit from Strutmasters.